So, the Premier Center is an arena in one of the Dakotas. I forget which one. I think North Dakota, but I could be wrong on that. And there was a hockey game there, Stampede game. I think this is minor league hockey. I'm not totally sure, but I think that's what it is. And after the first period, they had a bunch of local teachers come on the ice, and they participated in the first ever Dash for Cash. So teachers had to scramble and fight for $5,000 in dollar bills. And they were trying to get as many dollar bills as possible so they can afford for their kids supplies. Take a look at this. I think the most disturbing thing about this to me is that not everybody is disturbed by it. There was some local reporter who was tweeting about it and was sort of like jovial and casually, nonchalantly explaining it and saying, teachers are going to get some supplies for their kiddos. Hooray! This is dystopian nightmare stuff here, man. This is fail state stuff. You have a bunch of teachers on their hands and knees scrambling for dollar bills to afford supplies for their kids. Why doesn't everybody look at this as just a complete and utter moral and ethical failing on the part of society? There's a number of little thought experiments you could do to put this in context. Imagine we did this with cops. Imagine we had police officers down there look, we know your departments are underfunded, but you can scramble for the cash and grab as many dollar bills as you can, and then you can buy some more gear. You know? Maybe you'll even get a hockey goalie mask, and that might protect you from bullets and whatnot. Some hockey goalie pads. Look, we're just trying to help you. I mean, this is better for you, right? You're going to get more cash out of it. You're going to get more gear as a result of it. This is like Hunger Games stuff, bro. What are we talking about here? Now, compare this picture with what we know about the consolidation of the U.S. economy during COVID. How billionaires have made trillions more and everybody else is struggling. I oftentimes think about that Rand Corporation study, which found that over the course of just a few decades, so the post-World War II period until today, the top 1% has effectively stolen $47 trillion from the bottom 90%. And actually now that number's over $50 trillion because this article came out a couple years ago. And what they say is if you just kept the income disparity and the wealth disparity that existed right after World War II, if you just keep that disparity, that ratio moving forward, what happens is every person in the bottom 90% would have $1,144 more per month, every month for the rest of their lives. So there's your UBI right there. Your UBI was basically stolen from you because the owner class rigged the rules, rigged the game, and kept more of the income for themselves. Look, and it all comes back to corruption. The story always comes back to corruption. They gave money to the politicians turn around and do them favors, give them subsidies, give them tax cuts, and have, anti-worker policies. Anti-bottom 90% or 99% policies. So this is where we are now. We're not even... You have the debate going on in the Senate where Joe Manchin was like, I don't want to raise the corporate tax rate. I think that we need to be competitive around the world. And then they were like, well, maybe a billionaire's tax. And then, or no, it was Kyrsten Sinema who didn't want to raise the corporate tax rate. And then it was Manchin when Sinema floated the billionaire's tax with the other Democrats. That's one she apparently would have gotten on board with. Joe Manchin was like, I don't want to do billionaire's tax. We're singling out individuals. So no corporate tax increase, no billionaire tax increase, no top marginal tax increase hike. And look at what's going on at the state and local level. Now, granted, schools are funded with more local taxes than they are at the federal level, but it still illustrates a good picture of what this country's like. That people in the top 1%, the owner class, the corporations, the billionaires, they always win. And then this is what actual real people are dealing with. Let's scramble for cash. Look, get the money so you can get some supplies. How about you just fund the schools fully so that they can have supplies? How about every teacher in this country should make 6 figures? How about that? I mean, it is kind of amazing, isn't it? It does speak a lot about the values that our society has when, the market makes it so that certain things might be a real skill and really important, and they get paid relatively well. So like a surgeon, for example, certain kinds of doctors. But then there are other things that are probably equally important that just don't have that high value because the way the market system works, there's just not as much value put on them, and more people can do that job, so they pay them less. But we can choose as a society, with the commons, with the public in mind, we can choose to venerate teachers and to have them paid phenomenally well, and to understand that this is like a very noble and important job where they help shape the minds of the children for the next generation. I mean, in a world that made sense, teachers would make, I think Bernie had some proposal. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think his proposal was like they need to make at least like $70,000 a year or something like that. He's right. Now, I get it. $70,000 is a lot in like rural Wyoming, but shit, I'm more than happy to have my tax money, even if you take it at the federal level. I'm more than happy to subsidize teachers. That's way better than spending money to bomb our 9th country, or keep our 900 military bases around the world, or bail out Wall Street again. So, man, this is dystopian stuff. Again, the most disturbing part to me is that not everybody's disturbed by it. That we've grown such a thick skin and we're so callous that we just look at this like, yeah, this is the stuff we do. Like, oh, look, a fun game in between periods at a hockey game. Hooray. Man. It's really a broken system, and this is a very clear illustration of it here. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.